Hello, welcome to this video on FinOps as a service from transACT. So in this presentation, we'll cover what FinOps as a service is, its positioning and benefits, the FaaS process, and also what's new within FaaS. So as organizations move to the cloud, they're facing a number of challenges. One of the biggest challenges is around their cost management. And this is particularly significant around how IT is procured. If we look at the traditional model, we'll typically see that engineers had or requested new resource for the data center, new systems for the data center. Finance would have been approvers of that request. As a result, spend was quite predictable and typically fairly static, and it has long procurement cycles. However, in the cloud model, it's much more dynamic. Developers now have the ability to create new resource, and obviously from that, they'll also generate costs as well. So finance isn't necessarily involved in any decisions around the spend, and that results in spend being quite unpredictable and dynamic. And this really breaks the existing procurement process. So we really need a different way of how we manage costs. And this is where FinOps comes in. So typically what we see within the industry now is that customers have a FinOps team, and they are really sort of the interface between the different stakeholder teams, i.e. DevOps, the business and product owners, and finance and procurement. And what the FinOps team do is they provide some sort of communication and means of presenting reports to those different stakeholders. So within that new model, we have FinOps as a service, or FaaS, from transACT. And this is really a service that helps the FinOps team. It provides a report that the FinOps team can then use within the different stakeholders of their organization. And also within that service, we not only provide reports, but we also provide a monthly review with the customer FinOps team and give them advice on sort of cost saving measures and how areas of their infrastructure may be increasing their costs and what the issues might be. So FaaS is really an enabler to the new model for IT cost management using FinOps. So this graphic shows the different tool sets that you could use and sort of different value and effort you've got to put in to implement those tools or use those tools for FinOps. So if you think at the bottom of this pyramid here, you've got the AWS native tools, things like Cost Explorer or the billing. That's really sort of presenting the data in a sort of fairly raw format of what the costs are. And it doesn't necessarily very easily give you some sort of FinOps reporting that you can provide to the customer. So you've typically got to do some development on top of that to provide insights to your customers or to your sort of end users. So that's where sort of transACT Cloud Management Portal comes in. It's really sort of a layer of abstraction on the AWS native tools. So it provides more insights onto costs. It provides you insights into your inventory, security, and sort of things like utilization as well. So it's really drawing out the data from your AWS environment in those different areas, and it presents it in a form that's easily understandable, and you don't need sort of high levels of understanding of AWS Cloud to gain that insight using TCMP. However, it's really a sort of tool that's aimed at more the technical audience, DevOps or IT management, and you really need another sort of reporting tool on top of that, and that's really where FinOps as a service comes in. It provides insights into your cloud environment, and it's sort of another layer of abstraction above TCMP. And the idea of FaaS is that it's a much more sort of consolidated view and a condensed view of your environment. So the amount of data that you're actually having to go through within a FaaS report is way less than, say, within TCMP or your native tools. It's also a format that you can, that sort of the finance teams are much more likely to be comfortable with and be able to understand as well. It also provides much greater actionable insight than sort of some of the native tools. So it's really sort of the difference between the amount of data that you get and how much actionable insight you get. So there's less data that's provided within FaaS, but it's much more pertinent to what you're trying to do. So what does FaaS identify? It identifies who's spending and what they're spending it on. It shows where your costs are increasing or decreasing. It highlights anomalies. I'd say this is the biggest area that we find that it provides insight, because it can show you, maybe new services that DevOps are using, or new features that developers are using. And often you find that developers are using them in such a way that sort of really significantly increases costs. And by highlighting those anomalies, they can maybe use them in a more efficient manner. So it helps you understand also what cost saving measures would help. So we highlight what costing saving measures that you can use. And it also helps you manage commitment-based spending around things like reserved instances and cost savings plans. It also provides you with a feedback loop around your cost savings measures once they've been implemented. How effective are they? Are they really saving you costs? Who's taking the biggest advantage of those cost savings measures as well? So one of the other areas that is of quite a significance within FinOps at the moment is around spend forecasting. So within FaaS, we provide forecasting of your AWS spend over the next 12 months. And this is important for two reasons. One, it will help you plan what your budget would be. Also, if you see a particular service increasing its spend, then you can take mitigating action. For instance, if you're seeing an increase with S3, then you can maybe implement Glacier and some life cycle policies as well. So this is an example of some of the reports that we have within FaaS that provide you actionable insight. So we show you why your costs are increasing or decreasing, show you what trends you have within your infrastructure, because they will drive your costs as well. We show you what parts of your infrastructure are costing more, so things like what resources are increasing their spend on a particular month. We also show you where and how cost savings can be made as well. So how does the FaaS process work? Well, it's automated reporting, and it processes data directly from TCMP. So TCMP is actually a prerequisite of FaaS. It's based entirely on the AWS architecture. So that's things like S3, EC2, Lambda, Redshift, and QuickSight. And we not only provide monthly reports, but we also provide a monthly review as well. So this is just a graphic showing the architecture. So we input data from the TCMP API. We then process the data within AWS. And then you have a number of output types that you can use. You can use Power BI, QuickSight, or PDF. You've got a choice of delivery tools. So we can provide the reports either using Power BI, or it can be just a normal PDF, or you can have the interactive version with AWS QuickSight. So what's new within FaaS recently? So recently we developed the AWS service cost prediction, and that shows you your costs over the next 12 months or so, what the prediction is. And then what you can do is drill down beyond that and look at the actual services. And we can do this, say, for instance, by department, and then you can see what services are going to be increasing or decreasing over the next 12 months. And in this particular instance, we can see that S3 is increasing. So you might want to consider taking some cost savings measures around S3 to offset that cost in the future. Or if you can't offset that cost, you'll at least know to put that in your budget. So just to summarize, so FaaS stands for FinOps as a service from transACT. It helps customers manage and optimize their cloud spend. It's an automated service based around AWS, and we provide customers with monthly reports and also reviews that provide advice to customers on how to manage their cloud spend. Thank you for watching this video on FaaS.